Gilbert Jeremy Gottfried was an American actor and stand-up comedian. His persona as a comedian featured an exaggerated shrill voice and emphasis on crude humor. His numerous roles in film and television include voicing the parrot Iago in Disney's Aladdin animated films and series, Digital Boyd on PBS Kids' long-running Cyberchase, and Krang Subprime in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Gottfried was the voice of the Aflac Duck until 2011. He appeared in the critically panned but commercially successful Problem Child in 1990. Gottfried was born in Brooklyn, New York, the son of Lillian, a homemaker, and Max Gottfried, who ran a hardware store with his own father, above which the family lived. At age 15, Gottfried began doing amateur stand-up in New York City and, after a few years, became known around New York as the comedian's comedian. In 1980, Saturday Night Live was being retooled with a new staff and new comedians. The producers noticed Gottfried and hired him as a cast member for season 6. Gottfried's persona in SNL sketches was very different from his later characterization. He rarely spoke in his trademark screeching, obnoxious voice and never squinted. During his 12-episode stint, he was given very little airtime and seldom used in sketches. Gottfried recalled that a low point was having to play a corpse in a sketch about a sports organist hired to play inappropriate music at a funeral. Despite this, he had one recurring character in 2 celebrity impersonations, David A. Stockman and controversial film director Roman Polanski. Gottfried also played accountant Sidney Bernstein in the 1987 film Beverly Hills Cop 2, which reunited him with friend and fellow SNL alumnus Eddie Murphy. Beginning in the late 1980s, Gottfried was a favorite guest of Howard Stern's, often impersonating Andrew Dice Clay, Bela Lugosi as Dracula, and a senile Groucho Marx. Although not a regular, he also appeared in The Amazing Live Sea Monkeys, as well as voicing the crazed dentist Dr. Bender and his son Wendell in The Fairly Odd Parents and the voice of Jerry the Belly Button Elf on Ren and Stimpy. 3 of his most prominent roles came in 1990, 1991, and 1992. When he was cast as the adoption agent Igor Peabody in Problem Child and Problem Child 2 and the parrot Iago in Aladdin. When asked how he prepared for the role, Gottfried said, "I did the whole De Niro thing. I moved to South America. I lived in the trees." Gottfried reprised the role in Aladdin, The Return of Jafar, Aladdin and the King of Thieves, the television series and various related media, such as Kingdom Hearts and House of Mouse. However, the character was ultimately recast to Alan Tudyk for the 2019 remake. Gottfried also voiced Berkeley Beetle in 1994's Thumbelina. Gottfried was the host of the Saturday edition of USA Up All Night for its entire run from 1989 to 1998. Danny Gallagher of the Dallas Observer wrote that Gottfried has one of the most original formulas in the history of comedy, adding, "You don't just laugh at the punchline when Gilbert Gottfried tells a joke. You laugh at the setup. You laugh at his comments about the joke. You even laugh at the segues between his jokes." He was known for speaking in a loud and grating voice, which was not his natural speaking voice. Mark Benelli of Rolling Stone described Gottfried as a squinting, squawking mess of contradictions, noting his status as one of America's filthiest stand-ups and one of the most successful voiceover artists in children's entertainment. He was known for joking about recent tragedies. In a July 2012 op-ed for CNN, he wrote, "I have always felt comedy and tragedy are roommates. If you look up comedy and tragedy, you will find a very old picture of 2 masks. One mask is tragedy. It looks like it's crying. The other mask is comedy. It looks like it's laughing. Nowadays, we would say, how tasteless and insensitive. A comedy mask is laughing at a tragedy mask." As a frequent guest on Howard Stern's radio show, Gottfried was known for impersonating celebrities, including a profane, homophobic Andrew Dice Clay, an elderly, senile Groucho Marx, and a seductive Bela Lugosi as Count Dracula. He was also known for his Rabbi Gottfried character, where he would sing religious songs in faux Hebrew-sounding gibberish in a deliberately annoying, heavily accented voice. In the late 1990s, Gottfried met Dara Kravitz at a Grammy Awards party. They were married in 2007 and have 2 children together, daughter, Lily and son, Max. Gottfried was raised in a Jewish family, but he said on his podcast that he did not have a bar mitzvah. One of his sisters was Arlene Gottfried, a New York street photographer who died in 2017.